Hello, how's it going?
How's it going? Very good. My name is Osvaldo.
And I am Josh. We are on the VS Code team. We are both engineers, and we've been working on a lot of agents work over the past couple of months. At this point.
Lots of agentic flows and chat experiences and stuff like that. But Josh,
Yes.
imagine I've downloaded VS Code today.
Sure.
I have no idea what it is,
Okay.
but I downloaded it because somebody told me agentic flows and agentic experiences are really, really good.
Sure.
What is agentic flows? What
Yeah.
are those agentic experiences?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's what everyone's talking about these days. It's what this whole, I think for the past few months, it's what we've been focused on. So agents, I think the best way that I think of it is a way for code or for, I guess, the editor to write code on your behalf for ways that you can get work done faster and stay in the flow doing the work that you care most about, which I think is the most powerful thing that we are offering.
I agree with that. And so the past, probably this year, the whole year, we've been working a lot on these experiences, and we're excited to show you something that we just launched recently. And so we can show you here.
Yeah, so Osvaldo's going to show a bit of work on an app he's been building called Spokes, which is, I guess maybe you want to explain it?
Yeah, so this is an app that I've been working on for just bike rides and being able to talk to people while you're doing a bike ride, which is fundamental if you like listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to show you here. This is my app. Imagine I just clone the code. I have no idea how to run it. And then you can go here and say, compile this app and launch it in a simulator, right? And so you can see here all this new UI where you can track all your agentic flows, all of the sessions that you have open, and be able to do multitasking here, right? It went a lot of work into this. Our team in Zurich was really helpful in this. So you can see in this session, it actually prompted me if I wanted to run this particular tool. And so we go ahead and select it. And then let's see, in the meantime, we explore this code a little bit. We can say, read the configuration and tell me what else I can add there for this app, right? This is, as I said, an app that I've worked on for a while. And by worked on, I mean vibe coded for a long time. And so this is something that you can imagine. You are building your own project. You want to add more features. There's a lot of things to do when you start a new project, right? And so you execute and execute and execute and just like keep coordinating your agents here, right? It keeps prompting me to, if I want to run these particular commands and stuff like that, and then boom, hopefully it will work. Let's see what happens. Allow.
Yeah. And you are running this inside of our local agent, right? So.
We're running this inside of a local agent, but we know everybody works differently. Everybody likes to do things in a different way. So let me show you a little something about another way for people to be able to execute these agent flows. And so we have these options for creating, for example, let's do a background agent. And what this is going to do, let's say that I want to add to my configuration. I'm from Mexico. In Mexico, we don't use miles.
Okay.
And so this app, when I vibe coded it,
Yeah.
they just automatically decided to use miles,
Right.
which is hard for me.
Yeah,
so let's try to see, can you add a setting that allows users to switch between imperial and metric system. And so you can see here, we decided to do it in a work tree, which what it does, it will create a work tree for you so that it doesn't mess with anything inside your current workspace. So you can have all of these work going in the background and decide when you want to apply it, when you want to use it in your current workspace. So let's go back here, see, allow. Perfect, the app is installed. And let's see if it launches the app. There you go. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So this is all my rights, my profile, friends. You can see I don't have many friends.
Yeah.
My settings, and this is where we want to add this particular setting, right? Like we want to be able to do a different metric, the metric system versus Imperial. It shows here all the changes that it's been doing, which is really cool. You can decide to keep them, undo them. It's actually creating a unit service, really nice, so that we can apply the changes as we go. So yeah.
So at this point, you have an app. You didn't even know how it worked, perhaps. You opened up the project in VS Code, and you explained in natural language what you wanted to accomplish. And we saw it here on camera. It is working on the solution, and even inside of VS Code with MCPs and other tools, this is a Swift app, an iOS app, but with MCP tools, which I love using, you're able to build and run, test, see in the simulator all of the changes that you're doing. So it's all kind of integrated in one spot and all controlled through natural language, which I think is super cool.
Really cool. It would have taken me months to do this, and it was really fast. And so now with this view and being able to being able to coordinate your changes and being able to coordinate the features that you want to do, all these kind of things makes it even faster to do.
Totally.
But Josh, why don't you show us how to be able to delegate this?
Yeah, sure. So I can show. So I'm working on another iOS app, one that I've been playing around with for a while. I'll show a little bit of it in the background. I've showed this in previous live streams. It's like a kind of like a hide and seek game, essentially, where you use the entire kind of transit system of a city and play hide and seek. This is like the idea of the app, kind of based on a game that is on YouTube. So what I wanted to do was kind of create an app that made it easy for me to beat my friends in this game. So we have all these tools that allow you to kind of narrow down where someone's hiding in a city, say. And this is, of course, Seattle, where we are right now. But I wanted to add some more features. So I have a bunch of ideas here. I've actually closed quite a bit of them from before, but I want to add a new tool that tells me from the clues that I get if the person hiding is like north, south, east, or west of me. And this is something that I asked plan mode here. So we have this new option in VS Code. I think it was last release. We shipped plan mode. So right here in VS Code, you can see all of my previous sessions on the side here. Maybe I'll hide them for now. But you can see I just asked, and I'll scroll up to the top. I just said, let's work on this issue, which I have some information in that GitHub issue. So what it did is it ran a subagent, and it grabbed the issue details from the web, from the issue. Because I'm signed in to GitHub in VS Code, it was able to fetch this information, and then it was able to synthesize what I actually wanted to accomplish in that issue. It read a bunch of files in the project. It will see down below here that it actually created this plan for me, which, of course, is exactly what I wanted to do. It understood that we have tools in this project. There's a protocol that all of these tools conform to. And it found some of the other tools that already exist and found how they're registered. So it gave me, as the human, a nice summary of exactly what it will do, kind of step by step. You even see it here, step by step, kind of numbered 1 through 5, which I find really cool as a developer who, might not know what the agent is going to attempt to do. So it's really cool that we have plan mode fully integrated into VS Code now.
Yeah,
I think that's been helpful.
I think it's really interesting, what you bring up with the being able to plan your workflow and being able to plan what you want to do.
Right.
Because you've heard a lot of people doing a one-shot situation, and then you just like do this thing, and then you have it clear in your mind.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, the agent didn't do the thing that I wanted to do, right?
Right. Totally.
And so I think this is a really cool strategy to know for sure, give like a specific structure of what you want to and the agent to do, right? And
right. Totally.
yeah, and set it up for success that way.
Right. And I think this has been super helpful with, when we've been working on VS Code, or at least for me, when I'm working on a feature that is new to like a new area of the product that I've never touched before, not super familiar with, I'll use plan mode. I'll explain. There is normally a GitHub issue either from the community or from our team internally that explains what we want to accomplish in it. And I'll let plan mode explain it back to me, ask it for code pointers, references, how the agent would accomplish it. And there are some times where the agent can go the entire way. There are some times where I want it to start the implementation, and then I'll go in and make changes myself. But that's, I think, what's really cool about the 107 release, the one that we released yesterday, I believe, is that we have all these agents and all these tools that work in I think different degrees of autonomy, right? There's some that really help the developer get context and information and get going. And then there's some tools that we now offer that are built into VS Code that allow complete autonomy. And for a hobby app like the ones that we're showing here, it's kind of fun to just throw down an idea in a GitHub issue, say, go ahead, try it, and then come back an hour later. And with these apps, with TestFlight, it can be pushed directly to my phone. I don't even need to be at my computer. I just say, go ahead, do it. And then you see the code change on your phone an hour later. So super cool. I have really been enjoying plan mode. I also really enjoy these considerations that we tell plan mode, because all of these are prompts behind the scenes, essentially. And you can see I have some custom agents here as well. But this is an agent with a custom prompt that is really good at kind of digging deep and then also surfacing these questions that are good to think about ahead of time and not allow the agent to loop for 20 minutes and then be like, oh shoot, I should have thought about this consideration, should I look at this and be relative to this or that.
Also the other way around, right? Like sometimes if you do like the one-shot thing and then it just goes ahead and implements something super complex and you're like, you didn't have to go all the way there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be able to be, actually, this is a good idea, this is a bad idea, and make sure to think about this other thing, which is really nice.
Totally. And a lot of the work that we've done this month, this past iteration, is that we have this new button here, which had existed in other ones in the past, and now we've kind of consolidated it to this continue in feature here. So let's say, I've kind of already looked through this plan. It's using my instruction files. It is kind of going in the right direction, I think, from what I understand about the app, kind of assuming that I haven't written a lot of it. The AI has written a lot of it. So that looks great. And I wanted to answer this follow-up. Let's use area. Let's use directional callouts here. So just kind of answering their question here. And let's say, the thing that I find most useful about this is that we now have some more options of how we want this conversation to be continued. There's a big argument there's a lot of use cases where I just want to stay in my editor here and I want to watch, what the agent does. I can stop the agent and I can go in and make code changes whenever I want. And there's some times where, say I am heading off to lunch or something and I think that the agent has a good grasp of this, I can say, continue in the cloud. And then I can delegate it, which what it's going to do here is you can see it's analyzing the chat history. So it's reading everything that we have here and it's compacting it down into something that, like a single artifact that can be used by the cloud agent. And the cloud agent is the Copilot coding agent that runs in GitHub. So you can see it is delegating to this cloud agent. It's creating this pull request. And you see here it closed this chat because now it has been delegated to the cloud. And we can pop into it if we'd like up at the top here. But you see it says cloud at the very top instead of local, because we're not local anymore. We are in the cloud. And you can see here that it has started the pull request. When it starts working, it'll start streaming in all logs and information from that change. You can see this was my prompt. This was the summary of the task that I wanted it to complete. And, if we want to get more info here, we can see the pull request. Actually, we can even go right to my repo here, and we'll see that it has started the feature. And then once it starts working, you'll see it start working here and start streaming into VS Code.
Very cool.
So yeah, this is kind of the flow that I use a lot of the time. If I want to get kind of a fast prototype, like you'll see on VS Code, if you look at all of my work on the VS Code repo, you'll see a lot of ideas that I send to the cloud, and I see kind of what it comes up with, and I use that as a starting point for either discussions, for prototypes, for really all the work that we do. I think there's a lot of value in being able to get some kind of code example, working really quickly.
Yeah, and also a lot of value on like providing all these options for people that if people want to use background, if people want to use cloud, if people want to use local.
Totally.
So everybody works differently, and there's a flavor for everybody.
Yeah, and you can even see here that we have this running in the background, but we can start kind of other tasks here, and they run autonomously. I did want to kind of highlight the custom agents as well too, because I think this is a pretty cool feature that we have, where I wrote this feature, or I wrote this super simple custom agent, which uses these features. In this case here, it will specifically like explain MapKit, right? I think this is a great example of agents kind of working in ways that aren't just writing code, but are actually helping you work smarter and faster, right? So in this case, it's going to use this MCP server, which I had open at the beginning. This MCP server called Apple Developer Docs. You'll see it's going to ask if it's allowed to use this, which is great. We always want, I think, the developer to kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
So we have spent a lot of time and effort in thinking about how you give your consent to agents and how that works in like the UX in VS Code. And I think spent a lot of time talking about that. So I love that. You can see here, it is using this MCP server. It's going to go to the Apple Developer Docs site and try and understand, based on my question, what docs are most relevant, and it's going to do it's going to go and find docs from different sources and kind of connect that all the pieces together for me, essentially.
Right.
Which I don't know if anyone on the stream has used the Apple Developer Docs site, but it is, at least for me, not the friendliest site to use. I feel like I get overwhelmed really quickly, and there's links to go into all sorts of stuff. There's examples here, but that's why I built this MCP server, because I wanted a really quick way to understand if I'm using APIs correctly, if they're deprecated. And here, you can see the resources. I know we have another talk later on MCP, which I think will be pretty cool. But just a little sneak peek of how it kind of connects the dots for you here. And I use this extensively, and I let the agent use this extensively when I was first building this app out, so that it used these best practices from Apple, instead of attempting to use APIs that it saw in its training data 5 years ago that are no longer supported by Apple.
Yeah, and I've used your MCP, which is really cool.
Yeah.
He helped me a lot too. Let's see, the work on this and that we started in the app, the initial app, is finished.
Okay.
Should we give it a try and see what happens?
Sure. Yeah, let's go back to your screen and take a peek.
So you can see here, it finished all the work. It created all these files, modified all these files, so we can keep them. You can see 217 lines of code, which is
nice,
amazing. It was like in the time that we've been here. Really cool. Then we can apply the changes, and then immediately get them to your workspace, right? It's all of the changes are here already. So let's go back to, or we can create a new session. This is the beauty of being able to like track all of them, right? And being able to like create multiple. You're able to archive also, so they'll go away, and then you keep this clean, which is really cool. So let's say build the app and launch in simulator. Let's see what it did. I want to also show how you can also create codex agents from here, from this same view. So it's kind of like a centralized view, right, to manage everything. And so we had initially, I don't know if you remember do you remember the initial view, how it looked like?
Right. In the editor.
In the editor, and like how we had this separate view. Now we have decided to move everything into chat, like everything related to AI is in chat, right?
Right.
And so, which we heard people, we heard the feedback, and we are, we want to improve, we want to make things better, and we want to make sure that people are able to do their work as they want, right? So this new view, you're able to customize it. You can see here, I have it on the left side. I like it that way, that's my preference, but you can also have it here, or you can hide it if you want. You can decide if you want to stack side by side. You can modify it as you wish. If there's one thing that we're missing, let us know, and we'll love feedback, you know? So this is running. Looks like it decided to change to a different simulator, which is, you know, maybe making sure that it works for every single iPhone.
It's smart.
Let's see what it does. Ooh, complete your profile. I'm gonna name myself Josh. How about that?
Sounds great.
Josh.
Excellent. And I have an account on the app.
There you go.
Although now I have two.
This is how I sign you up.
Yeah.
So
Solid ploy.
Cool. We have this new setting here, which is the units. We wanted metric or imperial, which is really nice. Let's see what happens here. If we go, there you go, kilometers per hour. That's really nice.
Very cool.
And
easy.
I didn't have to
write any code.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is really nice. So let's say we're finished with this work here, and then we can just archive the session and just keep it clean and think about what to build next.
Cool. And yeah, let's see. What else have we, I mean, we've added so much this month that I feel like we're missing like so many things. We I mean, I guess like the big thing is that you can create, you know, a new session in the chat, and you can hop between them. These chats, even local chats, now run in the background, which I think is a huge change to VS Code. Anyone that's used agent mode in the past, you know, knows that if you wanted to start a different local session, you would need to stop your current session. That's no longer the case. You can track them all from the view that is integrated into chat, which I think is huge. I think that's kind of one of the underrated features, I think, of this release. Huge kind of architectural change that our team did to allow that to happen.
Yep.
And kind of really aligns a local chat, which can run in the background, with the other kinds of modalities of agents that you know, run in the cloud, run in isolated work trees.
So when you say run in the background, like a local chat.
Yeah, right.
But also there's background chats that run in like with a work. Can you explain?
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So yeah, by background I mean you can run two chats that are either looking at the same code base, like your local workspace, at the same time. If they are working on isolated features, you could have them work on two separate parts of the code base, and that's all local with the same agent that you've been using for a year, 2 years now.
And the work tree.
Yeah, and then what we call background in VS Code with the continue on flow is even more isolated, right? In the sense that it uses a work tree. So that's like a function of Git, where you can tell Git to create a whole different directory with your code, and it'll operate on that code, which means that you can run 3 different, you know, like background agents on your machine, and they'll run on 3 different copies of the code base. So that means they won't step on each other, essentially. Yeah. And then lastly, of course, we have Cloud, which I showed, which is also quite similar, but it will push your chat context up to GitHub, and they will run that on their infrastructure. So you can, you know, you don't need your laptop running. You can just close your laptop, and then you can come back later and you can see all the work that the Cloud Agent did there.
Very powerful, very excited about all these new features. And please let us know, use it, let us know what you think, what you like, what you don't like. We like to hear that too. And yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Osvaldo.